Students, we are going to discuss about spinal cord. We had discussed few things in last lecture, so let's revise what we have. See, there's a butterfly shaped structure. This is called as gray matter. You already know what is difference between gray matter and white matter. This gray matter is going to extend like this from both the sides, you can see. So this part is the dorsal side and this part you can see is the ventral side, right? So this and these two ends are called as ventral horns, right? These are ventral horns, this part and this part, and the opposite part which is present on the dorsal side, which is called as dorsal horn, right? Now you can see dorsal horn is going to extend and it is going to continue as wherever horn is there, no, whether it is dorsal or ventral, it is going to continue and it is going to form root. Over here you can see, as it is a ventral side, you can see it is a ventral root. This also you can say ventral root. Over here, this is the dorsal side, right? So dorsal side is going to continue this as dorsal root, and over here also you can see there is dorsal root. Okay, then you have to remember is whether dorsal horn or dorsal root, both are going to be sensory in function. It means they are going to collect information from all the sensory organs and going to give it to the neurons over here. Okay, now when you talk about ventral horn and ventral root, both you can see they are motor. It means all the processing is going to take place of the information which is given by dorsal, and then they are going to give information to the organs. It means they are motor in function. Now when you see over here, you can see that this part, okay, so messages from here through ventral root or from dorsal root, they are going to come to over here. Okay, this is a structure from where the now when you talk about IVF, okay, it continues like this. Okay, you can see over here, so continuation here, this side, as you know, this side is ventral side, so name is given as ramus ventralis. As you know, this is dorsal side, so here you can say name given is ramus dorsalis. Okay, so ventralis and dorsalis, both the sides. Suppose over here, if any neurons are going to give information like this, so motor this way, right? It can come this way also and it can go this way also. Okay, it means that this is the mixed, depending on the situation, sensory as well as motor impulses can travel through this. You can see over here arrows are made in both the directions. Same is for ramus dorsalis also. This is also mixed, but when you talk about ramus communicans, which is completely motor in function. So this is the basic structure. Now we'll discuss few things which is given in the text over here. Okay, all the things we have discussed. Now see here, sensory neurons we discussed was dorsal side, dorsal root and dorsal horn. They are found in the dorsal root ganglia, which is pseudo unipolar in nature. See, we have studied various types of neurons: unipolar, pseudo unipolar, multipolar, bipolar. So let me show you where we have studied. Okay, because you keep studying and you keep forgetting. Okay, so you need to remember. See here. Okay, so please revise this part again. So apolar, unipolar, bipolar, pseudo unipolar and multipolar, so keep in mind. Okay, here when we talk about spinal cords neurons, we are going to talk about pseudo unipolar and multipolar. So we discussed that sensory neurons, right? Sensory means it is dorsal or ventral, dorsal, right? So it is going to be what? It is going to be pseudo unipolar. Whereas when we talk about motor neurons, okay, so how is it going to be? It is going to be multipolar, right? It is going to be multipolar. See, you can see here, okay, pseudo unipolar you have written. Now what they have said is, it gets embedded into gray matter of spinal cord and makes synapse with the ventral root neuron. Synapse means it is going to show attachment. So what we discussed is ki this part, dorsal, this part, okay, this is going to show, let us zoom little bit, okay, over here. Okay, So over here you can see that these are the sensory neurons. They are taking information from sensory organs. It means information is going like this in this direction, right over here. Now what they are talking about is ki this red color thing, which is what? It is sensory neuron. It is making synapse with gray matter. You can see gray matter, this part. You can see over here. Here, okay. This is the synapse they are making over here. Okay, here over here they are making synapse. So that's what they are trying to say. The synapse with the ventral root, you can see obviously it is very clear from here. And synapse means you know that dendrites and axons are going to make connection. You have already studied synapse, chemical transmission through synapse, right? Now when you talk about multipolar neurons, see over here. Okay, we talked about pseudo-unipolar, that was present on the dorsal root, and that is why it was what? It was sensory. But when we talk about ventral root or ventral horn, that is going to have multipolar neurons, right? In cyton and dendrites, whose cyton means you can say cell body, and dendrites, it means we are talking about ventral root. They are embedded into gray matter. Okay, how? See here. Okay, fine. See over here that this part, what we discussed is ki ventral sides, or you can say ventral root, you can say this part. Fine, this is the ventral roots, cell body and dendrite. Okay, cell body and dendrite over here, you can say they are making connection with what? Axon of the dorsal, right? So this is the synapse they are making. You have to remember that ventral root is going to have multipolar neuron, whereas the dorsal side is going to have pseudo-unipolar. And ventral roots, dendrite and cyton, is going to make synapse with axon of the dorsal. Both sensory and motor, you can see that both sensory and motor fibers combinedly come out of the intervertebral foramen, which we have already seen, right? In some parts of spinal cord on both the sides, lateral horns are also found. You can see that lateral horns were over here. See, these are the lateral horns. Okay, dorsal horn we already know. Okay, this is the dorsal horn. Fine. These are the ventral horns. Now this part you can see is the lateral horn. Okay, now lateral horn is what? Motor neurons are only present in this lateral horns. Okay, that you have to remember. It means that motor neurons would be present where? In the ventral horn, in the ventral root, and also on the lateral horn motor neurons are going to be present. Okay, now we also discussed that from where are they coming? Intervertebral foramen. These fibers are called as, these fibers through which they are coming, they are called as ramus communicans. And yes, ramus communicans is completely motor. It means from here it can come out only. Okay, it is completely motor in function. It is not going to be sensory. It means it is going to deliver messages to the organs, but it is not going to collect information from sensory organs. Okay, now ramus communicans form ANS, is autonomic nervous system, which controls almost all the involuntary functions of our body. We'll discuss later. Okay, spinal nerves and its branches are mixed type, except we discussed already that spinal nerves and its branches, this and this, right, they are mixed. It acts as a bridge between brain and organs. Obviously, whatever information is provided by CNS, it reaches the body through spinal cord. Also produces a relay path for the impulses coming from brain. See, it's like relay race. You might have heard in relay race, many students are going to stand a little distance apart. Suppose one boy is over here, fine, he is going to have a stick in his hand. He is going to run and give the stick to another boy. Okay, now he will run and he will give stick again to somebody else, and then he will run. So what they are doing is ki whatever message is being passed from brain or any other neuron of the CNS, they are going to go to first neurons, which is you can say cranial nerves, and then spinal nerves, and then to the parts of body. So we are saying it is going to provide relay path. Spinal cord regenerates and conducts most of the reflex action. See, reflex action is what? Whenever there is any action, there would be reaction. You are already aware of this thermodynamics rule, right? So whenever there is an action, it means whenever you see, suppose food, okay, if you are hungry and it is your favorite food, or you are watching some food video on YouTube, what happens that you are you wish to eat that at that time only. So salivation occurs, okay, मन में लड्डू फूटा वाली situation, okay. So salivation will occur. So salivation is going to occur when you see food, okay. So this salivation is what? It is kind of reflex action, you can say. So reflex action is not only done by spinal cord. You might have studied in 9th 10th that whenever but in few situations, few reflex actions are going to be controlled by brain also, not only spinal cord but brain also. We will see, we will compare that how it is going to take place, okay. Chalo, let us continue now. See, we discussed about spinal cord. So what we are going to do right now is we'll discuss about straight away reflex action, reflex arc, and then we are going to come to autonomic nervous system, or we can say sympathetic and parasympathetic and all, right. See, we'll talk about reflex action and then reflex arc. What is reflex action? We already discussed that if there is any action, right, some reaction is going to take place, body is going to react in certain way, so that is called as reflex action. See, this is completely controlled by peripheral nervous system, okay. You know that CNS and PNS are there. PNS is going to have all the nerves, right. Now see, reflex action, you can say, or peripheral nervous systems controlling of reflex action, no, it is completely going to be involuntary, and it is going to be very quick. It is not going to be that you are touching a hot vessel and then slowly and steadily your brain is thinking that whether I should take this hand or I should keep. No, it is very quick, right. So it is very quick and it is involuntary, okay. And as it is quick, what happens that it does not require involvement of brain in most of the time. I am talking about most of the time, okay. Sometimes brain is involved, we'll see when, okay. Now reflex action is, you can see all this spontaneous, means response produced by stimulating specific receptors. See, you know that receptors are going to be present everywhere. Receptors are present everywhere. Suppose if you are sitting on chair, okay, and while getting up, okay, in your knee you got hurt with some door or some table or something, right. So that is knee jerk, okay. You got hurt on the knee, or sometimes we get hurt on the elbow bone also, and then we feel that there is some electric current or shock, okay. So in that situation, if we talk, so how you felt that there is some pain, okay. Why did you feel? Because on the knee, on the bone also, on the skin also, there are receptors present. On this receptor, okay, stimulus is going to bind, and that is going to give signal that yes, there is pain. So here pain receptors would be present. Over here binding of the stimulus will take place, and then you are going to feel it, okay. So same thing we are talking about, that receptor made you feel that there is some pain, and then decision was made by the brain or spinal cord, and quickly you showed some mechanical response, okay. Response, when you would find response? When there is stimulus. Without any stimulus, without any impulse, without any signal, you would not find any reaction, okay. Now reflex actions are involuntary, obviously. reflex actions are completed very quickly, है ना, very very quickly. You are not going to think as compared to normal actions. Why does it take place quickly? Because you imagine you are touching it off. By mistake, you just holded that hot vessel, right? So what will happen if the response is not quick? You will keep holding that vessel and then there is going to be burn in your hand if you hold it for longer time. That is why what happens, response is very quick so that body is protected from any adverse effect. Okay, now in form of animal behavior in which the stimulation of sensory organ, we discussed that sensory organ is going to have receptor, and when that receptor is going to feel that there is some stimulus, some molecule is going to bind with it, what will happen? It results in activity of the some organs without the intervention of will, right? Even when if you don't want, it is going to take place, like it will not give you much time only to think, right? It is going to be very quick. So this is the reflex action. Now reflex arc, we will discuss that how it is going to take place. What is reflex arc actually? When you talk about, see here, reflex pathway, fine, see here, reflex pathway is what comprises at least one afferent neuron. What is afferent and what is efferent? You look at this diagram, you would clearly relate. This is afferent pathway, and in from this direction what is coming is efferent pathway. You can see afferent is what, whatever, see, whenever this is a kind of hammer, somebody has hit you over here, so receptors are present over here, and the receptor gave, here you can see this is a receptor gave the signal, and now the stimulus, the impulse is traveling through the spinal cord. So afferent going to take the message to spinal cord, that is called as afferent, right? Efferent is what? After reaching to the gray matter, see, we studied, no, that in gray matter sensory neurons are going to be what? Dorsal side, dorsal horn and dorsal root. So over here you can say that dorsal root and dorsal horn would be present. They are going to take it to gray matter. Inside the gray matter we had discussed that synapse is going to be there, where with the dorsal root ganglia and the ventral root ganglia, right? So here synapse will be there, message transmission would be there, decision would be made that what you have to do when you are hit with hammer. So response, what response has to be done, that is going to travel through here, which is motor is what? Ventral root or ventral horn, we had discussed clearly, right? So this path is called as efferent pathway, right? So see, receptor and effector, what is difference? Receptor is going to collect information from the sense organ and going to give it to spinal cord. Effector is what? It is going to, whatever information is brought by the motor neurons, it is going to come to effector area, and then what would be response? Quickly the person is going to pull the leg back. You can see initially the leg was here, but now because of this motor impulse, what has happened? The person has pulled the leg back. So this is about reflex action, right? This was about reflex action. So whatever theory is given over here, we discussed in this thing. It is very easy. You can go through this. Same thing what we discussed, they have written in statements. So you can go through it. Now see, reflex action is going to depend on for reflex action, but cranial reflex, it means brain also somewhere is responsible. So let's see what is the difference. Okay, so cranial reflex is what? It is done by brain, and spinal, obviously spinal cord. Second, see, no urgency is required. It means when would cranial reflex be involved? When there is no urgency, you can nicely sit and you can imagine things and whatever, like when you see food, right? Salivation occurs in mouth. So that in that there is no need of quick response. No, is it necessary that as soon as you see food you need to salivate? No, right? So over here in that cranial reflex is involved. Whereas when there is urgency, suppose you have got hurt with something, you have touched some hot vessel, in that situation the response has to be quick, right? So in that situation spinal reflex is going to be involved. Okay, for slow actions cranial reflex will be there. For spinal reflex, so it is going to have much faster actions. Example we have seen over here. Now this also example, whenever there is pinching or you have got hurt or something, so you have to pull your leg back so that there is no further damage. So this was on the basis of sight. Now on the basis of previous experiences, it means that reflex action sometimes is not instant. Okay, instant can be when you are hurt or when this kind of situation comes, but certain reflex requires previous experiences. For example, when you see a cycle, right, you feel like I want to go and ride, but will you be able to ride if you haven't learned, if you don't have previous experience? You will be able to do, otherwise you will not be able to do. So same thing we have given, previous experience is required for this thing. Example, cycling, dancing, everything. They have given that this action was studied first by Ivan Pavlov on dog. What is this dog's experiment? It is not given in your book, but still you should know. What Pavlov did, dog was there, right? I'm not drawing, I'm just writing to save time. So when food was kept in front of dog, okay, what happened? Anybody, if food is kept in front of you also, what you will do? Salivation will occur. So in dog salivation was seen. Fine. Man mein laddu futa. Okay, then salivation was there. Now when dog, in front of dog, when there was whistling sound, it means Pavlov took a whistle and he made that whistling sound. So in that situation, will salivation take place? No, right? In that salivation did not take place. So remember the situation, when dog was given food, when food was kept, salivation occurred. When whistle was blown, salivation did not occur. But now what conditioning Pavlov did? Conditioning was that he put food, okay, and whistle also. Okay, he put food and whistle together and he practiced it for many days. That whenever first he made whistling sound, as soon as whistling sound was made, he brought the food, and then after seeing the food, dog was salivating, right? So what dog thought was कि this noise is a symbol that food is going to come, right? So now what happened, that for many days he practiced this, that whenever there is whistle sound, food is going to come. Whistle was blown. What dog did? Even if food was not brought, he salivated. So how that happened? Because of the conditioning. So if only whistle was blown in the beginning, dog did not salivate, but then conditioning was done, that whistle along with food, so he was salivating. So this is also example of conditioning reflex. Unconditioned reflex means you don't need any previous experience. For example, sneezing, coughing, and many things they have given in example, right? Now on the basis of synapse, you already know synapse is what? Connection between axon and dendrites of two different neurons. So one they have given is monosynaptic. Monosynaptic means what? Only single synapse is going to be there. It means this axon's knob is going to form a synapse with dendrite. So here single synapse is going to take place. But over here polysynaptic, it means in between axon and dendrite some other neurons are going to be there. What it is going to do? It is going to act as a mediator. Same thing happens, suppose over here you are sitting on one bench, okay, you are sitting on the first bench, your friend is sitting on fourth bench, right? Fourth nahi, suppose if a friend is sitting on third bench, so in between one more friend will be sitting, or one more student would be sitting. If you want to give any book, Okay, if you want to give any book from 1 to 3rd, how will you give? You have to say to this person ki please pass it to that friend, no? So this is going to be the interneuron. Okay, it is going to be interneuron, it is going to act in between over here. Fine, so that is called as sensory motor. Example is stretch reflex and knee jerk, all these you can read it. Polysynaptic, what is going to happen in between, interneurons are going to be there, and that is withdrawal reflex. Okay, in such synapse, nerve impulses will have to travel through more than one synapse. Okay, so in next lecture we are going to discuss about autonomic nervous system. So if you have any doubt, let me know. Okay.